What is up, everybody? My name is Harry Rice, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back. The Montreal Canadiens played tonight. It was a game that they, quite frankly, weren't in for long. Also, I'm going to click on the Streamlabs because it's flashing, let me know that it's going. But yeah, Canadiens played tonight, and it was a game, again, they were not in for very long. Due to a lot of bad luck, honestly. It was really a lot of just mishandles and misplays and missed goals. I'm trying to some other third thing that I can't think of. Shout out SpongeBob. But yeah, for anybody who is new here, how we do things is, or how I do things, I just say technically because I'm the only one who's actually on the stream. You ate to see it. Hey, Luca, I appreciate that. I like that. That's good. See, if I were doing, like, customized titles, like all these other YouTubers who want to get views, that's what I would be doing, is stuff like, you ate to see it. I love that. I love that. But yeah, so again, how we do things around here is, how I do things, again. I go through the lines for both teams. I give them my little game summary, recap, analysis, whatever you want to call it. And then we go through the stats for the Canadiens, and then we work our way on out of here. So, yeah, we don't have anybody else in the chat aside from Luca, so let's get right into it. If anybody does have any comments or questions, put them in the chat, and I will get to them like Yoshi Bros. Who played goalies tonight? Both of them. Yoshi Bros, you listen to my recap, you'll hear how the fuck they scored. The opening lines for the Canadiens were Caulfield, Suzuki, Doc, Slavkovsky, Newhook, Armia, Anderson, Evans, Gallagher, and Heineman, Dvorak, Kapanen. Matheson, Struble, Hudson, Savard, and Xhekaj Mayu were on the blue line. Sam Montembeault gets the start in net for the Canadiens, and Caden Primo would back him up. Yes, indeed, Sporty. Before we begin tonight, let's take a minute to laugh at the Islanders and the Blues tonight for whatever the fuck those games were. Absolutely, my good sir. So firstly to the Islanders. And to the Blues. You lost to the worst team in the NHL! Alright, enough of that. Alright, Sam Montembeault would get the start net for the Canadiens, and Caden Primo backs him up as he's been quite solid in his last couple starts. Oosh, bros, that's an L. That's an oof right there. Leafs have a 10-year losing streak on Halloween whenever they play. Well, that sucks. Opening lines for the Kraken were McCann, Beniers, Eberle, Schwartz, Stevenson, Burakovsky, Tolvanen, Wright, Bjorkstrand, and Cartier, Gord, and Tanev. So guys that were on the third line last year playing with Ty Cartier, which kind of an oof if you ask me. But, yeah. Sporty, I think you know what to do. I can't get on my phone right now. If you don't, you're getting unmodded. So yeah, Evans, Evans of the Riker variety, the Evans on the Canadiens is Jake. Might start some confusion, I figured. But Riker Evans with Larson, Oleksiak Montour, and Mahura Borgen were on the blue line. Philip Grubauer is expected to get the start in net for the Kraken, which he actually didn't. It was Joey Decord. There were several places that were saying it was going to be Grubauer. There were others that were saying Decord, so it was a very iffy wavelength in terms of who was starting tonight. It would be Joey Decord, and Philip Grubauer backs him up as he's been hot garbage to start the year. Oh, Avi, definitely the Bruins definitely are absolutely worse. I mean, it's the Bruins; they're always going to be inferior to their little brother, just like the Ottawa Senators. I love when we don't get Senators fans in here because it's so fun. It's so fun. Thank you very much, Brody. I appreciate it. Shout out Kevin Fiala for pulling a Tyler Seguin and getting scratched. Oof. That's gotta suck. Goddamn, Kevin Fiala. Shout out to you, my good sir. And in Fleury's last game against the Penguins, too. 8-2, at least Cole got another goal. Yes, indeed, my good sir. Absolutely. We'll get to that in a little bit, Avi. But, yeah, for sure. Thank you, Sporty, by the way, for the messages in the mod squad. I appreciate that. So, yeah. Is anyone stream lagging? That would be on you guys. You guys don't need to tell me that the stream is lagging because you guys are you guys, it's on your end. I'm not getting anything on my end saying that we're dropping frames or anything, so it's purely on you guys. Before the game, Slav is back, so he literally misses not even a week, actually. I think it was 6 days he missed. But Slavkovsky, back in the lineup. We will get Slav versus Wright tonight. That was really all there was to note. I mean, not really anything on Seattle's end. And, yeah, so very kind of low-key entering this game. Mattson has a good stick on Eberle as he was parked right in front. He nearly scores. Montreal will be like the Leafs, Habs. Don't, Yoshi Bros, don't insult the Canadiens like that, my good sir. And then the Kraken score, 48 seconds in. Jamie Oleksiak, there's a shot that just goes off of Matheson's ass. Just kind of hops over Montembeau. It was a really weird bounce it took after that, but it hops over Montembeau. That's pure bad luck right there, and it's a 1-0 Kraken lead very early on into the game. Canadiens then press, but they weren't really dejected by the goal that they allowed at this stage. Kraken looked for another one. I just put puck. I didn't get to finish my thought there, so Kraken looked for another one. Puck, and it's 2-0 Seattle. I don't know what I meant by puck. I was probably going to put something there, but yeah. But it's 2-0 Seattle. There's another one off of a Canadian. This time it's the guy who's trying to block the shot right in front of Riker Evans, who takes the shot. He gets the goal, and the Kraken take the 2-0 lead. It's 2 goals on 2 shots. 3:49 into the game. And then Arbor Jacki decides to pull his best Peter Forsberg impression out of his ass. He suddenly goes coast to coast, nearly ends up burying it right at the side of the net. It ends up going off the post. The cord holds on that one. Arbor Jacki, giving him props for that, because holy shit, if he scored that, I'd be naked right now. But yeah. Habs, is Arbor back? Sporty, I think Arbor might be back. I mean, there was a couple things that happened very late in the game that you can kind of tell he was back, but he's not going to be taking any real stupid penalties. He's not going to be, punching guys who don't deserve it, There's things that we'll get to in the third especially. Habs defense or goalie's more fault. The Habs dominated the Flyers last night. Tough night. Yeah, Avi, definitely. I would say it's more the goalie's fault. Or more the defense fault. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. More the defense fault. That's what I'd say. The 2 goals that go off of the players who are defending when we're in our own zone. The 2 goals there, literally the first 2 goals of the game, got to be better there. Either block the shot or get out of the way for the goalie to see it. That's how I always see it. The next 2 goals, if I remember correctly, which is the 3-0 goal. Well, the 3rd goal's on the power play, so can't really do much there, and I believe the 5th one was as well. The 4th goal, that was scored. That one's purely on Arbor Jacki. It's a really bad pass that ends up creating the 4th goal for the Kraken. And then from there, I believe the 5th goal was another power play goal. And from there, it's really just, you can't really judge it because the Habs just wanted the game to be over at that stage. It was really just finish the game out. Don't do too much. Don't get hurt. Just go. Lane Hutson's going to do like 8 really cool things. Yeah, just this is how Marty was coaching them. He was just fanning them, waving them onto the ice, pulling back to call them off the ice. This is how everybody coaches in the NHL. Just arm in, arm out, simple stuff like that. Habs top line's been good this season, absolutely, Avi. Depth has been lacking. I mean, it doesn't help that you missed Doc for a couple games. Slav was out for 3 games. Granted, we won 2 of those games, but still. If he was out any longer, we'd probably be screwed. Laine, he's out for the first 2 months probably, 2 to 3 months of the season, which is not good for the Canadiens who wanted him to be a 30-40 goal scorer. Probably could have gotten there. So Laine, again, being out, that's not going to help either. That's basically our second line that have all suffered injuries already to this point in the year. Again, Doc and Sloth are only out for a handful of games combined, which is better than last year already. But still, Laine being out as well, that one kind of sucks. Avi, yeah, it's a big game against the Capitals. I mean, honestly, I'm expecting us to lose on Halloween. But you know what? The only thing that'll make me not pissed at the game is if Ovechkin scores at least 1. I know he had 2 tonight, so he's getting closer to breaking that fraud Gretzky's record, which is good. So yeah, as long as Ovi scores at least one tomorrow, then I'll be quite happy about that. So there's that. Where am I? So it's 2-0. Yeah, Arbor Jacka goes coast to coast, and all of a sudden the Canadians just end up going to the. Sorry, I'm trying to get the chat on my phone to work. And for some reason, it is. How do I do this? I'm kind of a boomer when it comes to my phone because I can't. All right, I'm on. I'm looking at the chat, and oh no, I hid someone's message. Oh no, I banned someone. Oh no, I'll solve that later. But Russian Tank Ovi is gonna break that record. Oh yes, he will. I mean, he was a bit slow to start the year. What was it? 1 goal in his first 8 games, I think, and then he had the 2 tonight. He looked pretty good tonight. I saw a little bit of that Rangers and Capitals game. Just a little bit of it. Mostly the last 5 minutes. That's why I was a little bit late getting up here. I was watching the insane finish to the end of the... Yes, that's definitely how I speak. The insane finish to the Blues and Sens game, and then I was watching the end of the Rangers and Capitals game. Deadpool was very fun to make fun of, definitely sporty, but, I think it's time we flesh out the toxicity and we start growing a little more. I think it's time that we start growing and not having people unsub because there's a very retarded Senators fan in the chat, so we're going to move on past that. Keep talking, your Habs Bruins need to fire their coach. Yeah, Jim Montgomery. I think it's Jim Montgomery. He's not that good. Unless Jim Montgomery's the guy in Dallas who I'm thinking of, and there's another different Jim. But in that case, then, the Jim that's on the Bruins sucks. Jim Montgomery's okay. I keep getting... I think it's Jim Montgomery anyways, but yeah. So the Canadians go to the penalty kill. Doc gets called for rough as Gordon Jackeye had some words for each other, but yeah, they just kind of separated. Nothing really happened anyways. Wolverine, thank you very much for the hat. I appreciate it. Or not for the hat, but for the compliment to my hat. I appreciate it. I did ban your boy Deadpool. He's very unfunny. He's too much of a fourth wall breaker, and quite frankly, he was never really that good anyways, so yeah. Evans, purely driving the penalty kill. Evans has been a fantastic penalty killer the past couple years. I'm really glad that he's getting that prime power play penalty kill time, I should say. Evans, I think, could be a really good third line center on a team if he's needed there. But Evans gets space on the right side. He goes with it. He gets a pass back to kill off time. But shortly after, the Kraken end up scoring. Jaden Schwartz off just a really bad play. There's no coverage from Dvorak, and the Kraken end up taking that 3-0 lead. Habs are 0 for 1 on the penalty kill. The Habs look for something. They weren't completely out offensively. They were getting shots on net. They weren't fantastic, but they were getting shots on net. They were trying to drive play. And then Arbor Jackai in his own zone, a horrible pass behind the net. Right to Schwartz, passes out in front. Bjorkstrand just buries it. It's 4-0 Kraken, 10:33 into the game. So what does Montembeault allow tonight? 2 deflections that are really not ones you want to have go in. A power play goal, and a goal off of a bad pass behind the net. I don't think you can say this is Montembeault's fault. Poop that peas. How's it going, my good sir? Thank you for coming by to the stream. I don't believe with your name, I don't believe I've seen you in here before, unless you're someone who just changed their names. How's it going, my good sir? It was a very rough one, absolutely. It was not a good game. Not a good game. It was very much not good. Oh, boy. Honestly, I'm trying to stay straight on that path and just finish it already. Habs just kind of going through the motions on that penalty kill as well. They weren't really being careful in their own zone at that point, and Marty does end up calling the timeout after that goal. Canadians would press, and they get a good scramble right in front. The second line, actually. That's the second time in the period, actually, they had a scramble for a puck in front that they're just poking at, and they just can't get it. They played very well, I think, that second line in this first period. I thought they had a decent game. Then the Habs would end up going to a power play with 8 minutes left. Montour is called for a hook on Slavkovsky. There's a first unit press. Matheson not shooting into an opposing player's legs. he has good passes going. Suzuki and Doc would get open. Caulfield nearly gets one, but just off the tape. I believe this is the one. Just can't settle it down. Second unit, Lane Hutson. Oh my God. Just a beautiful dangle. Dangles his way right past the defenders. Gets the shot off the post. Almost buries it. That would have been a fantastic way for him to get his first. Gallagher then goes off the post. Canadians are buzzing, but they just can't score. The Habs are 0 for 1 on the power play tonight. The Habs were playing, I'll get to I'll get to now, Wolverine. Yesterday's playoffs, I was critical of Ovi at the Rangers series because it seemed like he didn't care about winning the series, rather caring more about beating Wayne's record. Wolverine, given that playoff goals don't count towards the overall record, I'd say that criticism is a little bit illegitimate. I think that you can definitely say, that that him not caring about winning the series kind of is understandable. I mean, he's already got the Stanley Cup. He's played, what is this, his 18th year? Because remember, 04-05 would have played, with his lockout year. I'm pretty sure this is technically his 18th NHL season. He's played like 2 seasons worth of playoff hockey as well over his career. He's like 38. Him being held to 0 points in 4 games isn't really that surprising. The Capitals don't have the amount of depth that they have this year. And granted, you look at it, they only really added like Pierre-Luc Dubois, Gabriel Darcy-Kemper, brought in Logan Thompson. They made some pretty good moves, I will say. They made some good moves. They didn't make a lot of changes comparable to what other teams made, like Nashville, where they brought in 2 big stars up front, one on the blue line, added a lot of depth. They made kind of smart, low-key sort of moves. So with the Rangers last year as well, being a much better team and being a team that could cover Ovechkin, and that's basically you're suppressing the Capitals' entirety of their offense, basically. Him having 0 points, I think, came down more so to the fact that the Capitals just didn't have any real scoring depth, and the fact that the Rangers held them off the board. They covered Ovechkin, and that was all their offense. So them adding, I think, if the Capitals make the playoffs this year, Ovechkin won't be going pointless because he won't be playing the Rangers, which it's always seemed like the Rangers have had the Capitals' number, doesn't it? It kind of feels like that way since Ovi's coming to the league, at least in the playoffs, I should say. Regular season, he dominates them, but playoffs, for some reason, just feels like the Rangers always have owned the Capitals, for some reason. All right. So yeah, Lane Hutson has that. The Habs are unfortunately 0 for 1 on the power play. Canadians playing a bit better in their own zone after the Marty St. Louis timeout. They were really kind of locking it down. They would end up generating some zone time. The shots. At one point, they were 8-3 for the Kraken. They're now 8-8 with 4 minutes left. I should say it was 8-3 when the Kraken made it 4-0. I should say. And then the Canadians score. Goal. Caulfield makes it 4-1 Seattle. Slavkovsky and Mayu get the assists on that one. It's 3:49 left in the first period. Montreal getting a little bit of momentum there. Props to them. There's a Canadian that gets interfered with. The Canadians press, but no need to complain about that one because the Habs do go to the power play with 1:59 left in the first. Riker Evans has called for a similar interference. You can do it once, you can't do it twice, though. Heineman draws the penalty there. Habs do press, hardcore style, as I said. They are all in. Matheson gets a shot through traffic that's stopped. Suzuki has some chances. Sorry, this is actually where Caulfield nearly gets one from a pass by Doc, but it just can't be settled. So earlier, I think he actually got the shot off, but he just, it wasn't that good of a Caulfield shot. Habs do get 140 of straight, just in-zone time. Kraken do get a much-needed clear. Habs can't score, but they do look good going into the second period, so we were 0 for 2 on the power play. I'd put that when we had 1 second of power play time to start the second. We weren't going to score on that. We weren't going to score. Seattle has the 4-1 lead after 20 minutes of play, but the Habs lead the shots 14-9. So by my calculations, they outshot the Kraken 11-1 after Seattle got the 4-0 advantage. So the Canadians kind of got momentum off the Kraken scoring, which is very weird. The timeout really helped them from Marty, at least to start this, after the first period. We'll see how it goes for the second, which, the Habs get called for an icing 30 seconds in, despite Newhook clearly getting to a puck first. So when it's the Canadiens who get to the puck first on an icing from the Rangers, that doesn't get called. But when the Canadiens are there first against the Kraken, it gets called. Habs press, but they end up going to a penalty kill as Newhook, unfortunately, gets called for a slash on Beniers. Savard hits a ref with a clearing attempt. Good on him. And it's 5-1, just a minute 32 into the period. Montour from the point as Dvorak screens the shot. Montembeault can't see it. Just goes past the pad and in the net. Monty looked to think that it was probably getting tipped, so he doesn't move too much. Just kind of stretches the pad out. I think he thought it was going to get tipped. It doesn't, though. The Habs are 0 for 2 on the penalty kill tonight. Montembeault at this point, he's out. Primo's in. Monty smashes his stick as he goes to the back. Honestly, understandable. Just a frustrating game. You really can't blame on him again. If you want to put one goal on him, maybe the fifth one is the goal to put on him. But even then, Dvorak with that screen thinks it's going to be tipped. Half the goals that were scored up to that point were tipped. And it's less of a, Monty, you suck tonight, get out of here. It's more of a, guys, come on. Monty's just allowed 5. Come on, get going. Plus, weirdly enough, we seem to play better with Primo and net the past couple games anyways, so hoping it could get them playing well. Don't look at the final score. Canadiens go to the power play as Eberle gets called for a hook on Hudson as the Canadiens would end up pressing. Bobs, how's it going, man? Thank you for coming by, my good sir. Pleasure to see you, man. How's it going? Habs just can't get anything on the power play. The Habs just can't get anything on the power play as it was all Kraken on the penalty kill for some reason. Very rare Suzuki mistake, actually, as he ends up not stick checking hard enough. That ends up leading to a Jared McCann breakaway. Gus Frong, how's it going, man? Thank you for coming by, my good sir. Pleasure to see you. McCann doesn't end up scoring. The Habs would be 0 for 3 on the power play tonight. That sucks. You're clean, no more weed or alcohol. Let's go, Gus Frong. Hell yeah. Props to you, my good sir. Let's go. Canadiens would press, but the Kraken with some good sticks. They get momentum the other way, and it's 6-1 Seattle. Harry, is that some flow in the back I'm seeing? Yeah, dude, it's a little bit of flow in the back. It's a little bit of flow. This is actually, funny enough, Sporty, we were talking about this in VC the other day. This is, I think, the longest my hair has been since when you were saying that the flow in the back looked good. This is, I think, the longest it's been. And plus, usually what I'll do is when I take my shower, I won't really, thoroughly brush it. I'll just, run it through. But yesterday, when I took my shower yesterday, I, fully brushed it, combed it. It's looking really good. So I think I might do that when I take my shower. Instead of just run it through, just get it all, just straighten it. I might, stylize it right away because I do agree with you. It looks good. It's got that kind of, almost, out there. You can kind of tell that it's there, but it's not super noticeable. So thank you, Sporty. I appreciate that. Whew. But yeah, it's 6-1 Seattle. 8:44 into the period. Montour. No more lost bet haircuts. No guarantees. No guarantees there, Sporty. Montour gets the shot. He picks up his own rebound. Doc and Newhook just kind of let him walk in. That sucks. That's his second of the night, and this one's starting to get pretty bad at this point. Canadiens do look for something on net. Caulfield would end up breaking up a good Seattle press. Slav tries to get a bouncer off the cord. That gets held. The Seattle puck sent in. There's a weird bounce off Dvorak. That nearly goes in. Third line would press for the Canadiens. There's a couple looks for Gallagher. He had a good game, I thought, surprisingly. Brendan Gallagher has been very, very good to start the season. First 10 or so games. Honestly, wouldn't be surprised to see him get a potential bump up to that second line, but at the same time, he's playing good third line. They might want to just keep him there. Habs would get a couple first line looks. Slav nearly got one. Fourth line gets out there. There's a glove by Decourt, and then afterwards, Montembeault sold me Fent. Okay. I hope it was the best goddamn Fent around, because Because you deserve it, Gus Frong. I mean that in a good way. Yeah, I mean that in the best way possible. But, yeah. If Michael Ryder was still with the Habs and you had his jersey, we would call you Flo Rida. Thank you, Bobs. Monty has been playing like he's on Fent recently. Aside from tonight, his last, 2 games, I unfortunately would have to agree with you, Sporty. I would unfortunately have to agree with you. Which is weird. Because the scapegoat the last 2 years has been, oh, well, Monty sucks, or whatever. Bob, that's a 10-second timeout for that one. Thank you. Oh my god, he actually did. He actually timed him out for 10 seconds. I forgot you could do that. Thank you, Sporty. I appreciate that. But yeah, no, the scapegoat the last 2 years has been, if I can get back on track, has been, oh, Montembeau sucks, when he's not really been the cause. Dude, yeah, the 10-second timeout, I love that too, Sporty. I didn't realize that you could do that. But that's fantastic. I was a little worried you might have pressed 24-hour timeout like you did with Salty, but I'm glad that you did press the right button, because I see Bob's back in the chat. But yeah, the scapegoat has always been Monty. The past 2 years, it's been Monty, and now that Monty is bad, I'm crushed. Bob's, I love that. Now that Monty is actually not playing that great, the scapegoat is going to go to the defense, which I actually agree with this time, funny enough. The defense has not been there up to this point in the season. But Monty's playing good the last season. He's playing very well. People still, trade him, keep Allen and Primo. Now that Primo's playing well, I don't get it. I don't get what some people are saying with the, well, Montembeau sucks. He's going through a rough patch, I will say. He's going through a rough patch, definitely. He will get out of it. He had a rough patch. He had a rough April last year. Every other month was decent, at the very least. He'll get out of it. I give it a couple games. I will say Thursday, I do think you start Primo. Just to let Monty have a night off, let him just kind of decompose himself, and 2, to tell the team, hey, look, Primo's playing this game, get off your ass, play defense in front of him, and I get that it's still not a phenomenal defense. Matheson and Savard are the only vets on this team. Gooley's injured right now. Jackie's playing with Struble. Actually, he's playing with Mayu tonight. And Struble was top pair with Matheson, and then you had Hudson and Savard, which was pretty decent blue line pairing, I thought, tonight. I thought they were all right. So the blue line's still not fantastic. But it's going to get there eventually. This next stretch of games is prime opportunity for Primo to take the starting job. It very well could be Sporty, absolutely, because if I load up, I'm not going to go through my notes, I'm going to look it up. Not the Canadiens drafting history, not this time. I'm not jacking it to Demidov and Fowler again. You look at it. Thursday, on Halloween, we play the Capitals. The 2nd of November, we play the Penguins. The 5th, we play the Flames. The 7th, we play the Devils. The 9th, we play the Maple Leafs. The 11th, we play the Sabres. And the 14th, we play the Wild. That stretch of 7 games, all against good teams. And the Sabres... No, seriously. That stretch of 7 games against 6 good teams on the Devils. That's a perfect stretch if Monty wants to take the starting. Primo wants to take the starter's job. Even then, the Jackets game on the 16th, the Oilers on the 18th, the Golden Knights on the 23rd, Utah on the 26th, the Blue Jackets on the 27th, and then the Rangers on the 30th, which is a 1 p.m. start. Kill me now. You look at that. That's prime. This next month is going to be prime if Primo wants to prove himself as a starter in the NHL. If he wants to prove himself in the NHL, that he's a starter, this next month is going to do it for sure, Sporty. I agree with you 100% there on that one. Blue line is still I wouldn't say way too young, but it is young. Definitely Bob's. Inexperienced, I wouldn't say that. Gooley, I think, can be very good when he's in the lineup. He's just hurt right now, unfortunately. Hudson's already looking like a top pairing blue liner. Struble, I think, is all right. Jack-Eye needs a little more confidence, but I think he'll get there real soon. And then you have Matheson, Savard. The blue line is definitely inexperienced and a bit young. I won't say it's way too young and inexperienced. I'll say it's a bit young and a little bit inexperienced. I'll give Struble and Hudson that. But at least Hudson, he's trying defensively. He's trying. He's going to get there. Give him a couple years, and he'll probably be very competent, if not pretty good defensively, I think. I do think Hughes could bring in another veteran blue liner. I think he'll bring in one. Because you look at it, Matheson, I think, could be gone at the deadline. Him or Savard. And granted, you look at it, Hughes is apparently looking at making a trade for a blue liner. We talked about this last couple streams. Hughes wants to bring in a blue liner, and he wants to not disrupt the future. What that tells me is that he either wants to get rid of either Mayu or Struble because they probably cap at third pairing when this team's in their prime, more than likely, or it's one of Matheson or Struble or Savard in kind of a change of scenario trade. Now, Matheson, he's got, 9 points in 11 games? Or 10 games, I think we played. Doesn't really need a change of scenario points-wise. But if the team wants to kind of... If Kent Hughes and Jeff Gordon want to say, hey, we're 4-5-1 after 10 games. This is an unacceptable start from a team that we expect better out of. You got to make a type of trade like that. A type of shake-up trade. Show that not everyone is safe on this team. Granted, yeah, Suzuki, Caulfield, Slavkovsky, those guys are probably safe. At least the ones that are on the team right now. And Hudson, those guys are probably safe. But you trade out a guy like Matheson who's at point per game and you get back... You could probably get back a good first-round pick and a replacement defenseman at minimum. Especially if it's at the deadline. But right now, I'd imagine it's probably Savard that the guy they want to trade out. Unless they have a potential option again, like a Struble or a Mayu that they might want to deal out. I do think Mayu is a trade piece eventually because, going back to Bob's point of bringing in a veteran blue liner, I could see them looking at a guy not exactly like him, but say an Aaron Ekblad, one of the guys that are in free agency next year. I think that could be a target, is a second pairing defenseman. You know, a guy to go with Gooley, because you're probably going to have Hudson and maybe Ryan Bacher, unless you do want to work with Gooley as a right side defenseman. You go Hudson, Gooley, and then you get a second line guy to work with Matheson if he's still here. Maybe Ryan Bacher is a rookie. Don't know yet. But I think you ideally would want to grab a blue liner, especially if you do trade Matheson or Savard. Honestly, I could see them both even potentially being traded. One of the two in a swap of defensemen, and then the other, more than likely Matheson at the deadline if we're not in it. Most D-men don't come into the prime until they're 24-26, in my opinion. Well, Bob's, it's not that we have a ways to go. Gooley's about to get there. He's 2 years away. Jack-Eye, he's 22. He's 2 years away. Hudson's 20, and he's already a top 10 defenseman in the NHL. At least he looks like one. He basically is one, I would argue. Hudson's already there. The fact that we only really need one more veteran blue liner to then go Hudson, Savard, Matheson, Gooley, and then veteran with Jack-Eye, that's a good blue line right there, if you ask me. Because, again, Gooley's back. He can cover defensively for when Matheson screws up, which is a couple times every game. You go Matheson, Gooley, Hudson, Savard. Hudson covers offense. Savard comes back defensively. Hudson can also get back defensively now. And then you got Jack-Eye, pair him with a veteran. Maybe a guy like a Nick Delorier, because people forget Nick Delorier did play defense early on in his career. But, you know, say a guy like, maybe not Nikita Zadorov, because I wouldn't want that $4 million pylon on my team. But a guy that's like Nikita Zadorov, a big, feared defenseman. Maybe you have a rough stuff blue line on that third pair. I don't know. But yeah, I do think one more veteran blue liner is something that the team can look for sure. And then here we go, off the glove by Decord. Evans and Bork. Jacob Bryson, Sporty. Let me clarify. Let me clarify. Good blue liner. Bob's, Hudson's a rookie, but you can't tell me that you haven't seen him, dude. He is a top pair defenseman. He is a top pairing defenseman, and he's playing like one. How many minutes did he play tonight? Because I'm pretty sure he played damn near 30 minutes. It felt like it anyways. By the way, the Kings and the Sharks are still scoreless with 7 minutes left in the game. That's impressive. But yeah. Hudson, you could tell with Cale Makar, he was a top 10 blue liner when he came in. You could tell with Quinn Hughes when he came in. He was a top 10 blue liner basically immediately. I'm tired of, because a player is a rookie, oh, okay, well, they just have the potential. They'll get there. No. Lane Hudson is there already. He's this good at 20. When he's 24, 25, entering his prime, imagine how good he's going to be. Lane Hudson played 23 minutes and 27 seconds tonight. He played, I believe, the most. Yeah, he played the most out of any defenseman tonight. And he did not look out of place. He's looked good. He's looked very good, for sure, man. He's looked very good. The Canadiens have a very special defenseman with Lane Hudson. Exactly, Bob. So far, he's looked great. You could say that with Cale Makar 10 games in. He looks like he's a top 10 defenseman because he was. Quinn Hughes, 10 games in, looked like a top 10 NHL defenseman because he was. Lane Hudson, 10 games into his NHL tenure, looks like a top 10 defenseman because he is. He is up there with Roman Josi, Adam Fox, Quinn Hughes, Cale Makar. Lane Hudson is up there. He might be number 9 or number 10. He is already one of the best defensemen in the NHL. And for me, it's no question. I think, at least. The game, you mean the first period? What are you talking about, Sporty? I mean, Hudson might have played 23 minutes in the first period. He might have, because it sure as hell looked like it, honestly. But Evans and Borgen, they dropped the gloves, and Kings and Sharks. Sorry, yeah, 7 minutes left in the first period. That's what I meant, yeah. Kings and Sharks did not start at 10, and they sped run through the game. They just continued playing. No, it's not soccer. 7 minutes left in the first period. Thank you, Sporty. Appreciate the reminder. But the refs end up getting in there to break up Borgen and Evans because, of course, they do. Both men get called 2 minutes each for roughing. Kaplan and Heidemann will start the 4-on-4 play. They get a look on net. Gallagher also gets a chance, but the Habs can't get any maintained pressure. Kraken do press. They nearly make it 7-1. Habs do get some stick checks. So the Habs are down 6-1 to the Kraken after the second period. The shots are 22-17 for the Canadiens, though. 4.5 minutes in, there's press for the Kraken. Yes, it took 4.5 minutes for there to be something interesting in the third period. The top line presses for the Canadiens. Caulfield looks to snipe one. Does a good wrister. That gets stopped. Wright goes the other way. He breaks past Xhekaj, but he gets stopped by Primo. Primo's first stop in the period. That was about 6 minutes in. And then the Habs go to the penalty kill. Anderson gets called for a hook on Jared McCann as the Kraken had pressed. There was a man that ran into Primo, but there's no penalty, of course. There's a shot and the rebound. Wright misses the rebound with a wide open net. Canadiens do clear. Off one clear. Nearly goes in, but it took a weird bounce. Habs do end up being 1 for 3 on the penalty kill. And then we go to a power play as Mahor gets called for a slash on Anderson, who had a pretty decent break in. Slav nearly gets one before the power play with the extra man advantage. Or with the 6-on-5, I should say. Because the power play is also a man advantage. First unit gets booed, specifically Matheson getting booed. The second unit, Hudson, every time he touches the puck in the third period, massive cheers. They just... Frankie Corrado, I believe it was, said it best. The fans just wanted something to cheer for. So every time Hudson touches the puck, start cheering. He would set some stuff up. The Habs don't get much. We are 0 for 4 on the power play tonight. Xhekaj then steps up on Beniers at the blue line. A nice, clean hit. Eberle takes exception. He goes over and hugs Xhekaj. Montour get in there. Mayu gets Beniers held up. It's a full scrum. Xhekaj and Eberle both get called to for unsportsmanlike conduct. We go to 4-on-4 hockey for about 30 seconds because the Kraken get another power play. Mayu gets called for a trip on Riker Evans, and they score. Brendan Montour, first career hat trick. Make it 7-1. A natural hat trick, too, by the way. That's a good one-timer there. Just puts it past Primo. I just put, this game sucks. We are 1 for 4 on the penalty kill tonight. And then make it 8-1. 20 seconds later, Eli Tolvanen puts it home on a 2-on-1. Jumps on a rebound. It's a wide open net. Small little scrum out of it, and there's a shoulder check. Not a full shoulder check, but just one of those like, hey, get out of here. Mayu, good cross check during it. And then the Canadiens score. Josh Anderson makes it 8-2, just 12 seconds after the Kraken make it 8-1. Matheson and Struble with the assist. Matheson with a nice break pass there. It's a nice deke. Too bad he can't do that whenever we actually need a goal. And then Struble gives a cross-check to Cartier 30 seconds after that. Refs would give him a 10-minute misconduct just to dissipate things. Kraken go to the power play because of the cross-check. Again, they give him the 10-minute misconduct, just dissipate things. As he's headed off the ice, he's jawing with Brendan Tanev. Doc tells him to shut up, which I thought was pretty funny. Doc tells Tanev, I should say, to shut up. Kraken press, there's the fourth line out there for them. There's no need to play your actual power play units at this point. Habs would be 2 for 5 on the penalty kill. And then within the final minute, Slavkovsky, big hit on Mahora, sends him into the Habs bench, gives him a couple punches for good measure. Tanev ends up taking exception. He's gutless. He gives a shot to the back of the head of Slavkovsky. Mayu gets right in there. We got a scrum. Everybody's there. 22 seconds left. Mayu is given a roughing minor. Not a misconduct, but he would go right to the back, I'd assume. Probably wouldn't even want to play after if the Kraken scored anyways. That would, of course, end up being the only penalty, because why should Tanev get a penalty for a punch to the back of the skull? That would end the game. Kraken don't really press. Habs actually end up being 3 for 6 on the penalty kill tonight, so 50%, not horrible. Seattle would win the game 8-2 in regulation. The final shots were 30-23 for the Canadiens. So the Canadiens played very well once it was 4-0. The unfortunate thing is they would still get outscored 4-2 afterwards, which 4-2 looks like a much more respectable would be a much more respectable loss than 8-2. Yellow Darkness, you would laugh at the Canadiens. Well, everybody gets to laugh at the Blues every single game they play anyways, so yeah. So that's the end of the game. Let's get into the Canadiens stats, and then we can get on out of here, because we are going to be up for Halloween once again for the Canadiens game. And I will remind everybody at this point, before we do get into the stats, the MCW's election night, Tuesday, November 5th. I probably shouldn't be doing this when I'm talking about election night. I just realized. But election night, that's going to be November 5th. I feel like this is actually even worse because that more so represents a gun. But election night, there we go. Election night, Tuesday, November 5th, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Central. I believe that is 10 p.m. Pacific time, I believe. 10 p.m. Pacific, I believe. Check it out. We've got a fantastic match card. We've got Donald Trump and Kamala Harris in a 60-minute Iron Man match. An electoral battle royal, which is like it's 10 Central, 8 Pacific. Okay. Why has nobody told me that yet? Let me fix that. Thank you, Darkness. There we go. 8 p.m. Pacific time. There we go. All right. So, yeah, there we go. Ow, my balls. We got Kamala Harris and Donald Trump in a 60-minute Iron Man match to determine who is the president of the United States. We've got the Electoral Battle Royal, which is like a Royal Rumble. We've got the Big Mac defending his World Heavyweight Championship. We've got Cosmo Kramer defending his MCW World Heavyweight Championship against the Big Mac, who won a Battle Royal on the last episode of Wednesday Night Kex to get this match. And we've got the Angry Grandpa and Michael Green defending their MCW John Cena Memorial Tag Team titles against the Super Mario Brothers. That is right. We will also be following along live with the election results as they come out. So that's going to be going on again all November 5th, starting 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Probably going until about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, I would imagine. So best of luck there to myself. Let's get into the Canadian stats and let's get on out of here. Nick Suzuki leads the Canadiens with 3 goals, 8 assists, 11 points. He unfortunately ends a 7-game point streak actually with no points tonight, unfortunately. Cole Caulfield's got 9 goals and assists for 10 points. Mike Matheson's got 9 assists. Yoris Slavkovsky's got a goal, 6 assists, 7 points. He thankfully returned tonight. Jake Evans and Josh Anderson each with 2 goals, 3 assists, 5 points. Yes, I do feel very dirty that a guy who's playing well has the same amount of points as Josh Anderson. Kirby Dach's got a goal, 4 assists, 5 points. Yes, I do feel very dirty that a player who's playing well has the same amount of points as Josh Anderson. Lane Hudson with 5 assists. Yes, I am ashamed that a top 10 defenseman in the NHL has the same amount of points as Lane Hudson. Brendan Gallagher's got 3 goals and assists for 4 points. Caden Gooley, who's unfortunately still hurt. Yoel Armia each have a goal, 3 assists, 4 points. Logan Mayhew's got a goal, 2 assists for 3 points. David Savard's got 3 assists. Emil Heineman and Alex Newhook each have 2 goals. Christian Dvorak and Jaden Struble each have 2 assists. Justin Barron, who's unfortunately still out, has a goal. And Oliver Kapanen has an assist. Samuel Montembeau has the lone shutout this year. Mike Matheson has the lone fight. Would have had one if the refs didn't break it up between Evans and Mahora, I believe it was, again. So, would have had that. If you told me that Evans would have a fight this year before Arbor Jacki, I would have called you crazy. But you would have been right. So, who's really crazy? So, yeah, guys. That is going to do it for today's stream. Thank you all so much for coming by. My name is Harry Rice. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, favorite, share, which includes, but it's not limited to, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, Tumblr, and everything else. My name is Rice. Subscribe to join the HG Club, the Sub Hub, and the D Nation if you're a member of the Mod Squad. Thank you for money, comments, and streamers, and it is much greatly appreciated. Links in the description. Check them all out. Much appreciated. My name is Harry Rice again, and I am out. Adam Montreal. Always remember no matter how bad we were last year, how fairly okay we are like this year. Go Habs, go, baby. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Harry Rice again, and I am out. Say, see you, Bob. Thank you for coming by, man. I am out again, guys. Love you guys. See you guys. Bye, guys. Love you guys. See you guys. Bye, guys. Love you guys. See you guys. Bye, guys. Bye.